At 5:30. A Charlotte couple has taken getting COVID creative to a whole new level after the pandemic put a damper and multiple delays on their entrepreneurial plans. Their latest project together is a bar that you have to see to believe. And as Michelle Bowden shows us, it has helped them figure out where's the money.
There are so many stops and starts in trying to get this bar open because of COVID that when they finally did open, they did it in, well, a pretty unique way.
They're shaking things up at the Royal Tot this month after a year filled with more naughty than nice.
We were supposed to have been open in the spring, and then spring turned to summer, summer turned to fall, fall turned to Christmas. This was, again, one of the many backup plans that we had.
This backup plan is called Sippin' Santa.
It's been amazing.
Royal Tot is one of a handful of hand-selected bars around the world to be allowed to feature the fun theme. Christmas in the tropics, complete with Santa mermaids and specialty holiday drinks.
This has been the most successful opening that we've had of any of the other businesses that we've done.
The couple both left the corporate insurance world in 2018 to tackle entrepreneurship together. They first tried to sign a lease for this space in late 2020, but COVID made it too risky. They finally closed the deal this year and have faced everything from challenges getting liquor to dishwashers.
It's so unsettling to not be able to trust yourself because my wife Ashley and I have a lot of what I would consider good instincts. And COVID just basically said instincts don't matter. You just have to deal with whatever gets thrown to you, and every day it's different.
These days, different looks a whole lot brighter and a lot like a reason to celebrate.
The response has just been so amazing. The community has been awesome, and without them, we wouldn't be here.
The Sippin' Santa concept will be here until the end of the year. Then they're going to close for a few weeks and reopen as the original bar they intended, the Royal Tot. Reporting in Charlotte, Michelle Bowden, WCNC Charlotte.
Welcome back. After gaining national attention 6 years ago, Cops and Barbers is still charting new territory here in the Queen City. The organization helps bridge the gap between police and the neighbors they serve. WCNC Charlotte's Fred Shropshire talked to the organization's founder on how they're continuing to seek solutions.
We decided that we just wanted to do more. And I had an idea.
Sean Corbett says the concept came to him in the wake of the Mike Brown case. The 18-year-old black teen fatally shot at the hands of a white Ferguson police officer ignited nationwide protests and anxiety.
At that time that Michael Brown had happened, my son had just turned 18. And he had just got his first car. And I knew that as a parent, I didn't know how to teach him how to handle himself in a police stop.
When Corbett hosted the discussion at his barbershop, he learned
it wasn't just me, it was a lot of parents.
So more events followed, eventually catching the eye of former Charlotte Mayor Anthony Fox, who had gone on to work for the White House.
He came to Charlotte and he heard about it, and he went and told President Obama. And President Obama made it a part of his 21st century policing initiative.
The goal, bring in police officers to intimately engage with the neighbors they serve on neutral ground at barbershops.
We did the traveling, we did the town hall meetings, we did every community meeting, we did every church meeting.
Cops and Barbers took off nationwide through consistency.
You report on the streets every night, Fred. That's consistent. You know, your story don't change every night. It's just different faces. So you have to have these organizations and these programs lined up that are just as consistent as what's going on in the street.
The nonprofit consistently gives out turkeys annually, consistently offers financial literacy programs for adults and after-school tutoring for students, and more recently launched a barber school police academy cadet pairing program that has consistently built direct bonds between new officers and barbers.
When that officer gets a gun and a badge and he stops someone, hopefully he sees that barber and that person sitting in the car.
Accountability, a two-way street that includes barbers.
He can work from the other end and say, hey, you know, all police ain't bad. I know this guy. You know, this guy cares.
To date, Cops and Barbers has supported more than 500 people in their give back programs and through their Cops and Barbers Foundation Barber School scholarships. If you'd like to volunteer or donate money, we've included links to the Cops and Barbers webpage and social media links within the web version of this story on WCNC.com. Fred Shropshire, WCNC Charlotte.
Where's the money? WCNC Charlotte answers that question every day. We're here to make a difference. Email money to WCNC Charlotte and ask, where's the money?
We know that pushing positivity has become more and more of a priority within Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. You'll recall just this week, more than half a dozen weapons were found on campuses around the district. And tonight, school leaders say they want to give students more options, more resources, and better representation. WCNC Charlotte's Brianna Harper explains how.
Inside West Charlotte High School, there's a new kind of excitement surrounding lunchtime.
There's like this, all right, who's going to be in the cafeteria for today?
Organizations, colleges, and universities all welcome to take part in tabling.
Meet and greet with students, get to share flyers, brochures, pamphlets about cool things happening. And it's a really great opportunity for kids.
Assistant Principal Kevin Poirier says it's all about offering opportunities to help set students up for success.
Giving kids choices to live the life that they want to create for themselves.
Whether that's taking part in the Outward Bound Rock Climbing Leadership Program or getting a chance to learn more about a college scholarship.
We've recently seen the effectiveness and the impactfulness of having these opportunities available for students to explore.
And inside the classroom, the goal is to match those resources with representation.
Certainly having Black male educators in the classroom for students to see themselves in their teacher is really important.
North Carolina Central University and HBCU recently launched a new program aimed at recruiting, training, and preparing students to increase the number of Black male educators in North Carolina classrooms. According to a study by Johns Hopkins University, researchers found students are 29% more likely to go to college and 39% less likely to drop out of high school if they have a Black male educator during their elementary school years. Yet another example of promoting positivity and possibility that can go a long way. Brianna Harper, WCNC, Charlotte.
Happy Friday. Time now 6:15. And it's time to connect the dots when we make the news make sense. Movie theater crowds aren't what they used to be. And now there's evidence the glory days of the silver screen may be behind us.
The box office is bouncing back, but we may never see the same crowds at movie theaters again. Let's connect the dots. A new study from the film research company The Quorum found nearly half of former moviegoers are no longer going to theaters. And there's a few reasons why. Concerns over the pandemic are at the top of the list. With a new COVID variant and no vaccine required at most theaters, many people said they just don't feel safe. Others say that going to the movies just isn't worth the price of admission. High ticket and concession prices have caused complaints for years, and researchers say lots of folks just don't want to pay anymore after staying home for so long. And many of the biggest blockbusters are now available from the comfort of your couch. Warner Brothers made all this year's movies available on streaming the same day they premiered in theaters. Meaning those theaters will have to rethink those strategies to bring back moviegoers. And that is connecting the dots.
Here's the thing, though. Some of these issues may be temporary. In fact, 70% of former moviegoers said they would be upset if theaters completely went away. So let us know, are you going to the movies right now? Not right now, as in this morning, but have you been going to the movies? I went to James Bond a few weeks ago. Let us know using the hashtag WakeUpCLT.
A York County charter school is making a difference in the life of a local mother fighting cancer. This was through a No Shave November fundraiser. Students in Rock Hill collecting donations for her there. And WCNC Charlotte's Kendall Morris shows us how today all of their hard work paid off.
This is not the usual look for Legion Collegiate Academy teacher Lance Roberts.
I got a few compliments and my wife actually was growing on her. But I think in the last week it was getting kind of frizzy.
Roberts normally doesn't don a beard, but this November he decided it was time to grow it out for a good cause.
I just wanted to do something special. I just, and I wanted to involve the students here. I wanted to involve my classes.
Roberts challenged the student body at the small charter school to collect money to benefit a local family affected by cancer. His search for a worthy recipient leading him to Latresi Barber, a mother of 5 with stage 4 colon cancer.
It been, depressing and trying to rebuild and try to stay strong. And this right here is definitely a battle. And for me to come out today, it was wonderful. I loved it.
Barbara received a check for more than $2,800. The money raised with donations of love will help her celebrate Christmas with her children.
I never gave up. I was like, Lord, for me to be here for Christmas is a blessing enough. But for me to actually be able to go and buy them something, it's even better. And I'm thankful.
To reward the top 5 students who raised the most money, they got to shave off Robert's beard in front of the student body at an assembly. Robert's glad his beard is gone.
I'm not going to miss it.
But grateful for the lasting impact it could make on Latressi's life.
Today, when I was hearing the kids, it was like, I forgot I had cancer.
And the motivation it gave students to help someone in need. In Rock Hill, Kendall Morris, WCNC Charlotte.
So glad she is getting the support, and we are rooting for you too, Latressi, sending our prayers. The holiday season is here, and this year, because of supply chain problems, you could be more at risk for online scams. WCNC Charlotte anchor Carolyn Bruck is here with the scams you need to know about so you're not left asking, where's the money?
Supply chain problems, shipping delays, chip shortages. These are all real issues that could cloud your judgment when it comes to scams. Desperation can make you take risks that you might not normally take, all in an effort to get that impossible to find gift. But be warned, not only do scammers know this, they're banking on it.
Scammers know what people are thinking about and what's likely to get people to click on things or how they can separate you from your money.
Cybersecurity expert Alex Hammerstone is here to help. He's got the top 3 online scams to look out for this year. The first, it's one you've probably seen before, maybe even multiple times. The shipping text message scam. You receive a text about shipping with a link to track the package.
If you're a scammer and you spend send 100,000 people a message saying their UPS delivery is delayed, a lot of people will actually have a UPS delivery, so that will feel like a real text.
Only the text isn't legit, and neither is the link. It's all a guise to gain access to your phone and steal your personal information.
And so if you're getting a message that's unexpected, do not click it.
Next up, phony social media stores. You've probably come across at least one on Facebook and Instagram and not even know it.
Now, of course, there are multiple ways you can get scammed. Some are actual just fake stores that don't ever have any products, and they'll take your money and never send you anything. Other times you're getting fake products. So that's pretty common as well.
How to avoid them?
So you really want to make sure you're buying through reputable resources.
With reputable payment options. And that's the tip-off.
Anybody that's asking you to use a payment method, a lot of them are like Zelle and Venmo and PayPal. What they'll oftentimes do is they'll try to get you to use the friends and family features on those, because a lot of these payment platforms will allow you to send a friend or a relative a payment without any fees. If you buy something using the friends and family feature, you have no consumer protections at that point.
Number 3 on the list of online scams, the social media gift exchange.
So this is really one of the oldest scams there is, really just repurposed for social media.
It's basically the modern day version of chain letters, but with much more serious implications. To participate, it asks you to provide your name, address, and information about your friends. Major red flag.
And so what they'll do is they'll try to get you to sign up for these gift exchanges, have you send gifts to people with the promise that you'll get hundreds back through some kind of multiplier effect. And you end up getting nothing. So they receive your items and you get nothing back.
Bottom line?
So if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
If it sounds too good to be true, it almost always is.
Carolyn Bruck, WCNC Charlotte.
Now time for another check of our weather. Meteorologist KJ Jacobs standing by for us. KJ, of course, we're in the 70s today, but we're not going to see that tomorrow.
Not at all. In fact, we are already starting to cool down for parts of the area because of the system that passed through. Now we're waiting for that cold front to pass through, Hunter. Right now, a lot of love over uptown Charlotte, and most of us are clear and calm for the moment. And the rain is continuing for parts of the area, but even that, the rain is continuing to wind down as well. Tomorrow is going to be a brighter day, but a cooler one. And this is going to set us up for drier weather going forward for the week, but those temperatures will rebound after the day tomorrow, giving us warmer weather for the week ahead. Happening right now, the current temperature shows that Charlotte is at 61, Monroe 60, but notice back towards the foothills and the mountains. These temperatures have already dropped for tonight, and they will continue to drop overnight, and we will likely shave at least 10 to 20 degrees off of the current temperatures right now, so you can expect much cooler weather by daybreak tomorrow. Here's a live look at radar. Most of us are continuing to dry out, and you can see the radar loop shows the showers are now east of us for the most part, as we will continue to have drier weather throughout the overnight. Futurecast also does a good job of keeping up with these showers. So between now and about 5 a.m., we'll continue to see the rain winding down, and this will set us up for dry weather for tomorrow. See, no rain is showing up here on Futurecast throughout the day tomorrow, which is an indication of very dry weather, lots of sunshine. But once again, it will be a cooler day tomorrow despite the sunny skies. And with this in mind, high pressure is going to suppress those rain chances, give us that sunshine for tomorrow. But the sunny skies for the afternoon will transition to clear skies at night. And this is when radiation or cooling is going to be present. And with the calm winds for tomorrow night, we will once again have that colder air settling down to the surface. In return, it's going to allow temperatures to dip likely below freezing in this particular case. So take a look. These are going to be your mornings for the week ahead. So Monday morning, temperatures will likely be below the freezing mark. So you'll certainly want to have those extra layers as you prepare to start off your day. Tuesday morning at freezing once again. And by Wednesday morning, slightly above freezing, but still in that same category. So you can also anticipate some areas across and around Charlotte to be below freezing. And once again, temperatures will begin to moderate by the end of the week. Happening tomorrow, headed out to the Panthers game, we will have plenty of sunshine. It will be a cool day, the coolest day of the week, a little breezy at first, but we will have lighter winds towards the end of the game. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast. It does not include those rain chances. However, temperatures will soon return to the low 70s.
We had a couple of earthquakes down in South Carolina in the Summerville area. Now, this is a very seismically active area. Typical year in South Carolina, you're going to see 15 to 20 earthquakes, and this would be one of the hot spots. This is the same location of that large 7.8 earthquake back in 1886, caused damage all the way up here in the Charlotte area. So there is a history here of earthquakes down in the low country of South Carolina.
In the battle against all those pesky robocalls, most of us feel pretty helpless. Maybe we're hoping our phone carrier or a spam killer app is going to zap those calls before our phone rings. But some are taking matters into their own hands, and they are turning those annoying calls into cold, hard cash. WCNC Charlotte anchor Carolyn Bruck shows us one woman who discovered where's the money.
She is taking on those robocallers and hitting them where it hurts. The money may be good, but what's even better, that sweet, sweet feeling of robocall revenge.
You get the relentless robocalls and think, ugh, how annoying. Christy Von Deelen thought so too.
Hello?
Until she decided to do something about it.
And I'll be like, oh, I got a live one.
And fight back.
I'm like, oop, cha-ching.
From her home office, she finds the culprits and then demands they pay her. So how much money has she gotten so far?
Over $42,000.
$42,000? We had to know how. Christy walked us through the process. It all started with buying this kit, Doc Compton's Turning Robocalls into Cash. For $47, it promises to help you stop the calls and start collecting.
I'm thinking, is this thing real? Could it possibly work?
For her, it did, but not right away.
First check was $500.
But how long did it take to make that first $500?
Well, like I said, it took 6 months.
It does require some time and effort.
So today...
Christy, who also has a full-time job, logs every robocall.
It's the 12th.
She even records them.
Hey, this is Mike with Dealer Protection Services.
And she plays along, trying to get a human so she can dig for intel.
Are we still living in the state?
Especially when you're beginning, it's a lot harder because you have to learn how to talk to these people in order to get the information you want and need.
Then comes the sleuthing. Christy uses a virtual credit card number not tied to any bank account so she can see who tries to charge her. That's how she finds out the company's actual name.
It comes back as declined, and we can see who tried to run our card.
Then she finds an address and ships off a demand letter from Compton's kit. He says you'd be surprised just how many companies try to settle.
Believe it or not, these guys want to negotiate. They don't want to go to court because it, number one, exposes their identity, which they don't want. And then also, too, it kind of opens the door for the feds to come in and examine their call records and their business practices.
Thanks to the Federal Telephone Consumer Protection Act, robocallers can be on the hook for up to $1,500 per call, and maybe even more if they make multiple calls to your phone. Carolyn Bruck, WCNC Charlotte.
And if you are itching to take on those robocallers too and maybe make a buck in the process, we've got all the details on WCNC.com. Just remember, though, it's going to take some time and effort to cash in.
A now former City of York police officer caught shoplifting while he was on patrol. South Carolina state officials say that the former officer was caught on surveillance stealing from a Walmart while on duty. Authorities say it didn't just happen once, but nine different times. They say the total value of the items taken was around $94. That officer has now been let go from the department and is facing several charges. New at 11, new scammer sites popping up on your newsfeed just in time for holiday shopping. And this one is pulling on the heartstrings of people who are looking for a new furry family member. Tonight, we're hearing from one North Carolina woman who learned that lesson the hard way and is out hundreds of dollars. And we're sharing the red flags you should look out for tonight.
It starts innocently enough.
You go online and you do a puppy search.
Families looking to add a new best friend just in time for the holidays.
And you'll get tens of thousands of options to choose from. And so once you start down that rabbit hole, you're just clicking and clicking and clicking. And then you're going, wow, look at these puppies. Oh, kids, look at these. Watch these videos of these puppies.
But a lot of those options you find online aren't real.
So what the scammers are doing is stealing videos and pictures from other websites and making them their own.
Crystal Hutchins was one of those people looking for a new dog, a gift for her sister who recently lost her dog.
So I thought, well, Christmas is coming up. Maybe I could get her, a puppy. I know it's not going to make her feel, completely better, but, get her another baby.
Hutchins says the seller told her to load money for the dog onto prepaid cards and they'd meet in person. But red flag after red flag started popping up.
He says, okay, you sent me this card, so on your way to Charlotte, stop and pick up another card so my wife doesn't have to go to the bank or deposit any cash. I said, okay, no problem.
Tom Bartholomew from the Better Business Bureau says asking for preloaded cards is a telltale sign something is wrong.
They want a prepaid debit card that you can get at Walmart or Walgreens or whatever. You read them off the numbers and give them the PIN code and you've made your purchase. It's also not retrievable. It's not traceable. It's like handing them cash.
Hutchins lost more than $300 to the scammers. And she didn't get that puppy for her sister.
It was just a loss, I guess, and just lesson learned. But at the same time, it's just how people prey upon others.
Yeah, so here's what you can do to avoid getting scammed during your search for a new pet. First off, use a credit card. This is the only way, really, that you can get your money back. The Better Business Bureau also says to ask to see a live video of the dog, whether it be maybe a FaceTime, but see a live video of the dog if you can before you buy it. You could also look up the origin of the site. If it's based somewhere abroad, it's probably not legitimate.
As I sit on the stairs of this abandoned house, it causes me to reflect over my own life. What have I abandoned? All the times I took life for granted and gave the less of me more than the best of me. Am I alone? Look over the areas of your life and ask the same question. What have you abandoned? Maybe it's your dream, your health, or your relationships. These sometimes become the forgotten areas of our lives, the areas that we said we're going to get back to, but find ourselves getting lost in the everyday routine of life. We must get back to the best of who we are. Like this house, like your life, restoration can take place. You can be restored, and you can restore the areas that you abandoned. Start today, my friend, with the best rebuild ever. This is Coach Lamont. Make today your best you day. I'll see you tomorrow.
As a reminder, you can catch Coach Lamont right here on WCNC Charlotte every day, and you can continue the conversation with Coach at Coach Lamont on all social media platforms.
We made watching WCNC Charlotte News easier for you. Just search WCNC Charlotte on your Roku device and click the download button.
Experience the difference streaming newscast on your schedule.
Bigger storm system back to the west is going to cause some severe weather.
And unlock hours of on-demand content like Where's the Money, where we help put money back in your pockets.
We're talking more than $6,000 per student.
See the difference when news happens on your time. WCNC Charlotte on Roku. Download today. What is Near Me? If you see breaking news, just open the WCNC News app and go to Near Me on the bottom right. Tap Share with us, upload a photo or video and tell us about what you saw. Hit Submit, and once you see success, your news has reached WCNC Charlotte.
Developing tonight, we are gathering details on at least 4 different reported school threats in our area. Students and parents tipped us off about threats at Lake Norman High School in Mooresville, North Rowan High School in Spencer, Northwest Cabarrus High School in Concord, and Independence High School in Charlotte. Now take a look at this. This is video from Lake Norman High School where we could see parents lining up to pick up their kids after hearing the news of the threat there. By the way, the Iredell Sheriff's Office says that that threat was made on a social media platform, but their investigation determined it was actually directed at another school in the state. All of this follows a series of fights and weapons found at local schools, and that includes West Charlotte High School. That's where we find WCNC Charlotte's Brandon Goldner. Brandon, safe to say parents and students are on edge.
Absolutely, Vanessa. Here at West Charlotte High School, they found 2 guns yesterday. West Charlotte is also the site where more than 30 years ago, there was the start of a nonviolence movement at schools across the nation. And those leaders today are saying that that could be a solution, the Save Promise Club. In 1989, after West Charlotte football player Alex Orange was shot and killed while trying to stop a fight, his classmates responded by creating the Students Against Violence Everywhere, or SAVE Club. Carlene Ray met those students in 1993 as a member of the Governor's Crime Commission.
They were so impressive. The students knew that in order to make a difference, that they had to get their friends to start looking out for each other.
More than 20 years, 3,500 clubs, and 1 merger later, Hickory Ridge High sophomore Jordan J.J. Lewis is part of the next generation of Save Promise Club student leaders.
They're trying to help prevent gun violence. You know, they're trying to make schools a safer place. I was like, I need to join this club because it's been something that's sticking with me.
One of Jordan's favorite programs is Start with Hello, where Jordan and her fellow members introduce themselves to students who may be walking the halls or eating lunch by themselves. Ray, who's now Save Promise Club's national director, says their other program pillar is Say Something, which explains the difference between tattling versus telling on someone in order to keep you, your classmates, and teachers safe.
One example is a young man who saw another young man pull a gun out of a locker. And this young man walked over to him, and this is a North Carolina school, walked over to him and said, you know, there's really no place for that gun here. Whatever's going on in your life, it's going to get better.
She says the student with the gun ended up not using it.
When simply a classmate, someone your own age speaks to you about it, it's just way more personal because they know exactly what you're going through. They're going through the exact same thing that you are.
CMS Superintendent Ernest Winston also sent out a video message late last night to families telling them to have conversations with their kids about the dangers of guns in schools. Live outside West Charlotte High School, Brandon Goldner, WCNC Charlotte.
Brandon, thank you for those updates.
At 11, a special investigation into a local jail. Stabbings, fights, attacks. The people who work inside the Mecklenburg County Detention Center are in danger. A WCNC Charlotte investigation found threats to their safety are getting more and more common.
That's right. Jail records show attacks on officers have risen more than 400% over roughly the last 3 years. Our Nate Morabito obtained confidential department records that validate officers' fears and images showing severe injuries.
Even as the sheriff makes changes to try and improve security here, the violence continues. Inmates attacked several detention officers this week alone. These photos
hit him so hard he lost consciousness.
Are not just a snapshot.
There was multiple assailants on that officer.
Of life on the inside.
They were all jumping them.
Recently, one resident they confiscated 9 shanks out of.
They, along with internal records. What is this?
That tells me of who I need to look out for.
Unlock a clear picture of what it's like to work at the Mecklenburg County Detention Center in 2021. This is one of your coworkers.
Yes, the person jumped up and stabbed her in the neck. Fortunately, it didn't hit an artery.
We've agreed to hide this longtime employee's identity.
If we don't, there's going to be retaliation.
A man who's worked under multiple sheriffs.
This is definitely by far the worst.
And says this is the most fear he's ever witnessed.
There is nobody to respond.
He describes a critical lack of staffing that leaves guards without backup, inadequate punishment that enables inmates, and a lack of support from the sheriff himself.
I believe it's just a matter of time the way things are going.
A potentially lethal combination.
I would hate to hear that somebody went in with a smile and came out in a body bag.
Records obtained by WCNC Charlotte identify almost 20 inmates who require elevated security because they've previously attacked employees. Reports detail assaults throughout the year, some never publicized, including several that occurred after a desperate detention officer sent emails to Sheriff Gary McFadden warning staff is dangerously low, concerns are ignored, and employees are tired and frustrated. In his email responses, the sheriff blamed understaffing on employees reluctant to come to work because it is easy to lay out, and telling her he is tired and frustrated too, since he works all hours of the day putting out fires his supervisors should be handling.
How does this happen, and how is this continuing to happen?
Fraternal Order of Police Vice President Daniel Redford says employees, past and present, have all shared concerns with him.
The response that we got was overwhelming.
A retiring officer summed it up in a parting email sent to the entire department earlier this month. Unfortunately, it feels like no one has your back, and the inmates are the ones who are winning.
1032 call 5600.
Just days later, emails show 3 more inmates attacked 3 more detention officers.
These assaults need to stop.
To complain without solution is not helping.
Sheriff McFadden says the retiring officer that penned that email never came to him directly. And the one who did, he called multiple times and shared her concerns with command staff.
I'm always going to be here for you. I will always have your back. My door is open. If you had a problem, as I have told them 100 times, come to me first.
The sheriff told us he takes responsibility for what takes place inside the jail. If you were to grade your performance protecting your employees, what would you give yourself?
I would give myself a B.
But says his officers and command staff bear some of the blame too. Why a B?
Well, we have to understand that I can do all I can to protect my employees, but my employees need to do all what they can to also to protect themselves and their employees.
And says he's properly punishing the residents here. The sheriff didn't hold back his frustration that staff leaked confidential records.
Some of the employees I do not trust.
Calling that a safety concern. Reports, he says, only tell a partial story.
I'm frustrated because people are not following policies and procedures.
He told us in some of the attacks, officers violated department rules, which put them at risk. What is the solution?
There is no magic bullet.
Sheriff McFadden says the conditions inside the detention center are a reflection of the violence outside, pandemic pressures, and problems at home, not his leadership.
We're in a crisis like everybody else is in the United States, so we're doing as much as we can with the staff that we can.
The sheriff told us he started improving safety a year ago and has since mandated overtime, moved juveniles out of the jail to free up extra detention officers, and brought in additional employees from the courthouse, road, and reserves, and is moving forward with significant de-escalation training. What more can you do?
What more can I do? Find the necessary people to work. Help build better relationships between the staff and the residents.
He blames the culture inside on the past sheriff.
I inherited a culture that you are afraid to speak. You are afraid to work.
A man who left office in December 2018. You've had 3 years to change that.
But it's hard to change a culture.
A culture that records show has become more dangerous every year since. The North Carolina Department of Labor investigated 2 complaints about conditions inside this jail in recent months. A spokesperson told us the agency closed those investigations after the sheriff's office responded in a timely, detailed manner. Nate Morabito, WCNC Charlotte.
That was really scary.
When Paula didn't receive her stimulus check, she asked, "Where's the money?" And we got solutions.
It took me to tweet you guys, and it was like, hey, there's my answer, and there's my money.
Where's the money on WCNC Charlotte?
Right now, we want to get to an update to our Defenders investigation, the one that found severe understaffing at the Mecklenburg County Detention Center. It seems to be putting inmates and officers in danger. We shared this story with you first at 11 last night. The investigation uncovering persistent attacks inside the jail, which leaves detention officers working in fear. So amid our reporting, there is now a call for an outside investigation. In all new tonight, Nate Morabito discovered the jail is violating state rules, and the sheriff admits that's a concern.
In a letter sent to the County Commission and State Department of Health, the Fraternal Order of Police said the conditions inside this jail are unsafe for both staff and inmates. As confidential internal records outline an increased risk of stabbings, attacks, and fights inside the Mecklenburg County Detention Center.
It's really scary for all of us.
We've also discovered the 141 vacancies at Jail Central are routinely preventing detention officers from making their state-required rounds.
And shifts keep getting shorter and shorter.
Minimum standards meant to ensure proper supervision for inmates.
We don't have the staff to make those standards. We're doing the best that we can.
Sheriff Gary McFadden told us his department is pulling officers from the courts, road, and reserves to try and increase staffing. But despite the agency's failure to follow what's required,
so that is a concern.
He says the state has not flagged the jail for the problem.
But you all aren't always making the rounds as required by the minimum standards.
That is true.
So that's a violation of minimum standards.
Well, nobody's told, no, the state hasn't said that yet.
The Fraternal Order of Police is now calling for increased scrutiny.
It really makes your heart drop.
Asking for an independent investigation of policies, procedures, and events occurring since the sheriff took office in late 2018.
It's a lack of support from the leadership.
Do you think it's a reflection on your leadership?
No.
Sheriff McFadden says the violence inside is a reflection of the world outside, and told us the previous sheriff is to blame for the department's culture.
You've had 3 years to change that.
But it's hard to change a culture.
He said his command staff and employees are partly responsible for recent events here too.
What more can you do?
What more can I do? Find the necessary people to work. Help build better relationships between the staff and the residents.
But at the end of the day,
he blames everybody inside.
He is the sheriff.
Because I'm doing all that I possibly can.
Nate Morabito, WCNC Charlotte.
And tonight, the sheriff released a lengthy statement in response to our investigation, saying that he welcomes an independent investigation and would fully cooperate. His statement also said, in part, it is difficult and humbling to read the criticism of some of the staff, former and even present. I recognize and acknowledge that I may have come across as less supportive and grateful than I truly am. For that unintentional and inaccurate appearance, I sincerely apologize.
Now time for another check of our weather. Meteorologist KJ Jacobs standing by for us. KJ, we of course we're in the 70s today, but we're not going to see that tomorrow.
Not at all. In fact, we are already starting to cool down for parts of the area because of the system that passed through. Now we're waiting for that cold front to pass through, Hunter. Right now, a lot of love over uptown Charlotte, and most of us are clear and calm for the moment. And the rain is continuing for parts of the area, but even that, the rain is continuing to wind down as well. Tomorrow is going to be a brighter day, but a cooler one. And this is going to set us up for drier weather going forward for the week, but those temperatures will rebound after the day tomorrow, giving us warmer weather for the week ahead. Happening right now, the current temperature shows that Charlotte is at 61, Monroe 60, but notice back towards the foothills and the mountains. These temperatures have already dropped for tonight, and they will continue to drop overnight, and we will likely shave at least 10 to 20 degrees off of the current temperatures right now, so you can expect much cooler weather by daybreak tomorrow. Here's a live look at radar. Most of us are continuing to dry out, and you can see the radar loop shows the showers are now east of us for the most part, as we will continue to have drier weather throughout the overnight. Futurecast also does a good job of keeping up with these showers. So between now and about 5 a.m., we'll continue to see the rain winding down, and this will set us up for dry weather for tomorrow. See, no rain is showing up here on Futurecast throughout the day tomorrow, which is an indication of very dry weather, lots of sunshine. But once again, it will be a cooler day tomorrow despite the sunny skies. And with this in mind, high pressure is going to suppress those rain chances, give us that sunshine for tomorrow. But the sunny skies for the afternoon will transition to clear skies at night. And this is when radiation or cooling is going to be present. And with the calm winds for tomorrow night, we will once again have that colder air settling down to the surface. In return, it's going to allow temperatures to dip likely below freezing in this particular case. So take a look. These are going to be your mornings for the week ahead. So Monday morning, temperatures will likely be below the freezing mark, so you'll certainly want to have those extra layers as you prepare to start off your day. Tuesday morning at freezing once again, and by Wednesday morning slightly above freezing, but still in that same category. So you can also anticipate some areas across and around Charlotte to be below freezing. And once again, temperatures will begin to moderate by the end of the week. Happening tomorrow, headed out to the Panthers game, we will have plenty of sunshine. It will be a cool day, the coolest day of the week, a little breezy at first, but we will have lighter winds towards the end of the game. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast. It does not include those rain chances. However, temperatures will soon return to the low 70s.
Tonight, a break in a 7-year-old murder case. Rock Hill police say they've made an arrest in the death of a man killed back in 2014. 27-year-old Jaquan Wilmore was arrested by CMPD last month and was extradited to Rock Hill on Thursday. Investigators have charged him with the murder of Antonio Heath. The father of 7 was killed along McGee Road in Rock Hill in November of 2014. Police said Wilmore's bond was denied. Well, it's been a tough year for so many, and it means thousands of families right here in the Charlotte area won't have the means to make sure their kids have a good Christmas. But the Salvation Army is there to help, and today they got a helping hand to try to make a difference.
They came by the dozens, random strangers with a caring heart bringing toys to drop off, and the WCNC Charlotte family to bag up for the Salvation Army's magical toy drive.
Really enjoys giving for kids and wants to make sure any kid gets a toy for Christmas.
After another difficult year, the Salvation Army says they'll provide toys to some 21,000 children whose parents just need a little help this year.
Because they're facing so many struggles, to be able to provide Christmas morning for their children is just a terrific gift from the community.
One pile of toys at a time, carried by some familiar faces, then piled into this truck to later make Christmas special for so many.
We have a dinosaur!
Wow! Nearly 2,000 toys donated just on Saturday alone outside Belk at Carolina Place Mall. IKEA, Belk, and Charlotte Soccer Academy donating hundreds of toys too.
Thank you so much.
A Christmas success with our community making a difference.
Neighbors helping neighbors, that's what it's all about, right? Don't worry though, the toy drive is not over. You can still drop off toys at any Belk or Original Mattress Factory location here in Charlotte through December 17th. You can also make a donation at WCNC.com/toys.
Download the WCNC Charlotte News app. Powered by the #1 TV news website in Charlotte, WCNC.com.
Well, as the song says, it's the most wonderful time of the year. And this year, most holiday events are back in full swing. But experts say that can be hard for hundreds of thousands of people who've lost loved ones to COVID. WCNC Charlotte's Lana Harris joins us with tips for those who are struggling with grief.
For a lot of folks, this is the most wonderful time of the year. Filled with Christmas displays, joy, and music.
Most of us see the holidays as a fun time where everyone's really nice and friendly and there's lights out.
But for others, this time of year can be painful.
For a lot of us, especially this holiday season, we've either lost someone close to us due to COVID, or we lost someone a few years ago due to an unrelated reason. And so we're dealing with grief.
Grief that maybe felt harder this year more than last.
Last year, people weren't gathering in big social groups. So those of us grieving, it made it easier for us to bow out, right, or just not go.
But this year, many holiday celebrations are back in full swing. But the CDC reports there are now over 790,000 people in the U.S. who've died from COVID, people who will be missed this year.
And now that there's more social engagement, there's a social expectation that you're going to participate.
Novant psychotherapist Sultana Nosrati says that may not be possible for those who are grieving.
Be honest with yourself about how you really feel versus how you think people think you should feel.
Nosrati advises those who are grieving not to feel like they have to be involved in everything, but not to completely isolate.
I think a lot of the patients I treat that have lost someone feel the need to isolate because they don't want to bum anybody else out, or because they feel like they have nothing positive and happy to contribute, right? And so if you're just isolating, you have no corrective experience. And I think that could lead to further depression.
Lana Harris, WCNC Charlotte.
Nosrati says anyone struggling with grief should pick and choose what holiday events to attend. Be sure to leave if you're overwhelmed. That's always okay to do. And find ways to honor your lost loved one. In Chester County, deputies are investigating after one person was shot in Great Falls this morning. The shooting happened along Washington Street. Right now, no word on the identity of the victim or the suspect.
Bad information spreading online. Now you have the power to fact check your social.
We've already verified thousands of social claims, and yours could be next.
Know the difference between true and false.
We can verify.
We take claims, find sources, and get explanations. We give you the answers. Don't wait. Get your feed verified. Text us, follow us, and watch only on WCNC Charlotte.
Now, staff and volunteers with Samaritan's Purse right here in North Carolina are actually headed to Kentucky and Arkansas for disaster response. Teams are also going to Tennessee and Illinois to help with the aftermath of the storms there. A tractor trailer stocked with tools and equipment, along with teams of volunteers, will help families salvage personal belongings, clean up those downed trees, and tarp those damaged roofs.
Should you pack wrapped presents in your suitcase? For this one, we went straight to Lisa Farbstein, a TSA spokesperson, who says don't do it. Not in your carry-on and not in your checked bag.
If it triggers an alarm, the TSA officer is going to have to unwrap the gift. You know who should unwrap that gift? The person who's supposed to receive it.
She recommends packing gifts in a gift bag or a box with a lid. That way, TSA officers can take a peek without ruining your nephew's day.
Let's say it triggered an alarm. Now, how's the TSA officer going to know what's inside? So, in this case, it's a gun. Now, for the purpose of the demonstration, it's not a real one, but of course, that would be the point, is for all we would know, somebody would be concealing something that could cause a major incident on a plane.
So to make everyone's life easier, we can verify that no, you shouldn't pack wrapped gifts in your suitcase. Farbstein says this might just slow you down and perhaps delay that bag from getting on the plane. Reporting here at Reagan National Airport, Evan Kozloff with your Verify.
Don't wait for your money. Take action. Contact WCNC Charlotte today. We've helped people across the Carolinas get back more than $1 million.
I was so beat down and wondering if I should give up on my business.
Then Caressa told us her story.
So I got approved, but I never got the funds.
And WCNC Charlotte asked, where's the money?
You, Karen, helped me facilitate a $500,000 idle loan to save my business.
See the difference when WCNC Charlotte asks, where's the money?
Now time for another check of our weather. Meteorologist KJ Jacobs standing by for us. KJ, we of course were in the 70s today, but we're not going to see that tomorrow.
Not at all. In fact, we are already starting to cool down for parts of the area because of the system that passed through. Now we're waiting for that cold front to pass through, Hunter. Right now, a lot of over uptown Charlotte, and most of us are clear and calm for the moment. And the rain is continuing for parts of the area, but even that, the rain is continuing to wind down as well. Tomorrow is going to be a brighter day, but a cooler one. And this is going to set us up for drier weather going forward for the week, but those temperatures will rebound after the day tomorrow, giving us warmer weather for the week ahead. Happening right now, the current temperature shows that Charlotte is at 61, Monroe 60, but notice back towards the foothills and the mountains. These temperatures have already dropped for tonight, and they will continue to drop overnight, and we will likely shave at least 10 to 20 degrees off of the current temperatures right now, so you can expect much cooler weather by daybreak tomorrow. Here's a live look at radar. Most of us are continuing to dry out, and you can see the radar loop shows the showers are now east of us for the most part, as we will continue to have drier weather throughout the overnight. Futurecast also does a good job of keeping up with these showers. So between now and about 5 a.m., we'll continue to see the rain winding down, and this will set us up for dry weather for tomorrow. See, no rain is showing up here on Futurecast throughout the day tomorrow, which is an indication of very dry weather, lots of sunshine, but once again, it will be a cooler day tomorrow despite the sunny skies. And with this in mind, high pressure is going to suppress those rain chances, give us that sunshine for tomorrow, but the sunny skies for the afternoon will transition to clear skies at night, and this is when radiational cooling is going to be present. And with the calm winds for tomorrow night, we will once again have that colder air settling down to the surface. In return, it's going to allow temperatures to dip likely below freezing in this particular case. So take a look. These are going to be your mornings for the week ahead. So Monday morning, temperatures will likely be below the freezing mark, so you'll certainly want to have those extra layers as you prepare to start off your day. Tuesday morning at freezing once again, and by Wednesday morning slightly above freezing, but still in that same category, so you can also anticipate some areas across and around Charlotte to be below freezing. And once again, temperatures will begin to moderate by the end of the week. Happening tomorrow, headed out to the Panthers game, we will have plenty of sunshine. It will be a cool day, the coolest day of the week, a little breezy at first, but we will have lighter winds towards the end of the game. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast. It does not include those rain chances. However, temperatures will soon return to the low 70s.
Tonight, a pair in York County is accused of stealing mail from 2,000 people in North and South Carolina. The York County Sheriff's Office arrested 34-year-old Jennings Kazai and 28-year-old Tressa Balcom after police found more than 3,000 pieces of mail in their car that didn't even belong to them. WCNC Charlotte's Indira Esquiva shares how families are affected when thieves strike.
It's frustrating, and you know, that someone would do that.
A rash of thefts has left families with missing mail this holiday season. This video shows suspected thieves digging in a Belmont mailbox without even getting out of the car.
And the next morning, ours and all the other mailboxes here in our cul-de-sac were open.
On Saturday, the York County Sheriff's Office said deputies arrested 2 people in a Walmart parking lot in Lake Wiley. Police say 34-year-old Jennings Kazaya and 28-year-old Tressa Balcom had 3,600 pieces of mail and more than 70 packages belonging to other people in their car. We've not confirmed if these 2 are thought to be responsible for the suspected theft seen in this video in Belmont, but police say they've stolen mail from 2,000 people in at least 6 different counties.
It was thanks to a watchful eye of a citizen who noticed some people acting suspicious in the Walmart parking lot there in Lake Wiley, thumbing through some mail and then actually littering and throwing the mail outside of their car.
The charges Kazaya and Balcom face include mail fraud, financial card theft, and identity theft. York County detectives are working with the United States Postal Service to return the missing mail.
Well, the beauty of it is all the victims we have their names throughout all of North Carolina and South Carolina. So we know who the victims are, and we're trying to reach out to those folks.
Hoping the missing mail will soon return to its rightful owners. Indira Esquiva, WCNC Charlotte.
The York County Sheriff's Office says both of those suspects also had drugs in their car, so they could face additional charges.
When posts circulate online, we verify to make sure that we have accurate information, and that is especially important when it comes to politics. Like this tweet, posted by Fox News contributor Leo Terrell. He wrote, "President Trump, I've done some legal research. The Speaker of the House does not have to be a member of Congress. Therefore, when the Republicans take over the House in November 2022, you should become Speaker." And this is not the first time we've heard this claim. In October, a Verify viewer named Alvin asked us the same question. So let's verify, can a non-House member, like President Trump, become Speaker of the House? Here are sources. Online resources from the Office of the Historian and the Clerk of the House. This report from the Congressional Research Service. And Casey Burgat from the George Washington University. We also look to Article 1, Section 2 of the U.S. Constitution. And let's start there. The line in question reads as follows. The House of Representatives shall choose their Speaker and other officers. It says nothing about whether the Speaker needs to be a member of the House.
It literally could be anybody.
Our GW expert tells us that the Speaker has always been a House member, but it doesn't have to be. In fact, there have been protest votes before for people like Joe Biden, Colin Powell, Stacey Abrams, and many others.
This has never been tested to the point where someone has won that nomination where then we have to have this debate. But as it stands right now, because it hasn't been disproven, then the House will choose its own Speaker and other officers. A baby's on the table, former President Trump's on the table, potentially a non-citizen themselves is on the table. It's the Wild West.
So we could verify that yes, a non-House member can be named House Speaker, whether it's Donald Trump, Barack Obama, you, me, or anyone else, although historically, it always has been a member of the House. Reporting here at the Capitol, this is Evan Kozloff with your Verify.